Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's honestly one of the most ambitious and kind of mind-blowing digital world-building projects out there right now. We're looking at the OneGodian ecosystem. We're going to take a journey that literally starts with abstract philosophy, moves through complex AI algorithms, and ends with a very real physical push right onto Main Street.
So, to map out this massive digital universe, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the OneGodian framework, move into a tale of two domains, dive deep into the metaphysical operating system, break down the 10-layer hierarchy, and finally, wrap up with the search for a home. All right, part one, the OneGodian framework.
Now, before we get into the platforms and the tech, we absolutely have to talk about the philosophy. Take a look at this 2013 U.S. copyright registration for the word OneGodian. If you look closely at the year of completion, it actually says 2009. Think about that for a second. This entire ecosystem started as a concept authored by Gregory Lamar Jones years before the sophisticated digital infrastructure that houses it today even existed. That gives this whole framework some serious historical weight right out of the gate.
So, what exactly is that foundational idea? Well, it's defined as a clear identity framework centered on one God, unified belief, and disciplined self-governance. Essentially, this philosophy acts as the interpretive layer that informs absolutely everything else we're going to look at today. It shapes the branding, the educational systems, and the underlying identity of the whole ecosystem. It's really the why behind the machine.
Moving right along to part two, a tale of two domains.
Okay, so how is all this philosophy practically organized online? It's actually done through a super strict separation of identity and commerce. You can see the sharp contrast right here. Over on the left, we've got OneGodian.org. This site is built strictly for public clarity. It's the home for identity, belief, community, the historical record, and education. It's where you'd go to learn and connect. But then over on the right, we have OneGodian.com. This is the commercial engine of the LLC. It powers the store, digital products, capital, and business services. It's just a brilliantly clear boundary, right? Keeping the public educational framework completely distinct from the financial commercial engine.
Which brings us to part three, the metaphysical operating system.
I gotta warn you, we are now diving deep into the literal brain of the machine. We're shifting straight into the AI logic layer. And it all starts with OMOS, the OneGodian metaphysical operating system. You can think of OMOS as the ultimate rules of engagement. It's the alignment and philosophical foundation. It dictates the worldview structure and the ethical boundaries for all the AI reasoning within the system. It literally governs how the ecosystem perceives and filters information.
And building directly on those rules, we have OHI, or OneGodian Hyperconscious Intelligence. Now, if OMOS provides the rules of the game, OHI is the engine actually executing those concepts. It's the primary intelligence layer responsible for structured reasoning and system orchestration. Basically, it designs the intelligence architecture that moves the whole ecosystem forward, based entirely on those ethical frameworks that OMOS feeds into it.
Let's visually translate all of that complex philosophical jargon into a concrete, systematic pipeline. Step 1, we have alignment through OMOS, which defines the worldview. Step 2 is orchestration through OHI, organizing that worldview into logic. Step 3 is synchronization through quantum OHI, handling the multi-system infrastructure. Step 4 is routing via the OEG, the execution gateway, which triggers actual operational actions. And finally, Step 5, command through the agent command console, giving ultimate visibility and control over workflow management. It's an incredibly structured, totally deterministic pipeline. All right, up next, part 4, the 10-layer hierarchy.
Get ready for a rapid-fire, top-down teardown of how this entire architecture actually stacks up. The source materials map out this massive 10-layer ecosystem hierarchy, and I've curated the highlighted core layers for you right here. It starts way at the top at the foundational origin with the founder. Then it moves down to the institutional layer of the LLC, down into the platforms like those domains we just talked about, into the systems like OMOS and OHI, all the way down to the commerce layer, and finally infrastructure control. And what's really amazing is how all these interconnected layers, which even include digital identity cards like OSID and their own timekeeping protocols like OTSV5, they all operate through one single unified interface at app.onegodian.com. Everything is visually and systematically synced up perfectly.
And that brings us to this incredibly powerful statement pulled directly from the source architecture documents. The real competition is infrastructure control. I really want you to stop and consider that for a second. Think about how your own digital identities and online environments are controlled. The The OneGodian approach is heavily, intensely positioned around identity control, verification control, and absolutely owning their execution environments. It makes this entire case study so relevant to where the future of the web is actually heading.
Which leads us to our final section, Part 5, the search for a home.
This is where we pivot to the macro to reality arc. Let's look at the timeline. The foundational work was completed way back in 2009. The copyright registration happened in 2013. The OneGodian LLC was officially established in 2018, and now, celebrating an 8-year evolution since that LLC was formed, it's grown from a solo metaphysical idea into an infrastructure so massive it has literally outgrown its digital bounds. They are now actively pushing for a physical HQ expansion in 2026.
Yeah, this digital-first ecosystem is now actively seeking property owners and strategic partners because they have some highly specific physical needs. They're looking to establish a true operational headquarters for long-term coordination. They need media and studio space for video production and podcasts. They require a technology workspace for their platform and API development. And they desperately need environments for real-world community coordination. Basically, the digital foundation is fully built. Now they just need the physical footprint to scale it in reality. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought to chew on. We've just watched an entire universe get built, literally from Metaphysics to Main Street. So as these massive digital frameworks continue to expand, will physical headquarters become the ultimate proof of reality? It is an incredible transition to witness, and honestly, it leaves me super eager to track the future of this digital nation. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it gave you a clear, structural view into the fascinating world of the OneGodian ecosystem.